Thank you so much for joining us today on the Interviews with Experts podcast. For those of you listening or watching this as a video, may I introduce you to Tamara Cianfini, founder of the Wise Hippo Birthing program and author of the upcoming hypnobirthing book, The Birth Path. Tamara, thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you.
Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. So I'm really excited about having you here, speaking with you in this conversation and your new book, because the book is amazing. It's due out shortly, isn't it? It's due out in a few weeks.
Yeah, very exciting.
It is, and it's fantastic. It's really the only book of its kind, and you really share a lot of. You're very generous with your knowledge, and you share a lot about hypnobirthing. And can you just tell us a little bit more about what you do and what inspired you to author your book?
What inspired me, I would say, it would be my birth experiences, because that's what led me down the path to follow a career in helping other pregnant couples find the education that I found with during my second pregnancy. So just a little bit about that background. So with my first birth, I had a very traumatic birth. The day the Twin Towers went down with my boy, so much so that I said that I would never have another child after that horrendous experience. 5.5 years later, I did do it all again. This time I immediately booked a C-section, thinking that that was my best option, my only option. And then I stumbled across something called hypnobirthing at 36 weeks pregnant. However, I was pretty determined to try anything that I possibly could at that point, because I just thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. So I threw myself into all the practice that was required for the hypnobirthing. And when the day came, I achieved the most magical hypnobirth. And it was that very same day that I said that every woman needs to know about this. I am going to get out there and I'm going to shout from the rooftops that birth can be so different to what I experienced first time round. And I just knew, having stumbled across what felt like at the time is like one of the world's biggest secrets. I just felt like I needed to be that person to shout out from the rooftops that you need to know about this knowledge. Every pregnant woman needs to know about this knowledge, because it could help. I mean, I breathed my daughter out with a smile on my face. She was 9.5 pounds, and I couldn't believe that I'd achieved something so amazing, so natural, and I remained in a state of calm, and I breathed her out, and I actually really enjoyed it. Wow. It was absolutely the opposite to my very first experience, and I didn't just sit on my obsession to change antenatal education at that point. I'd worked as a nurse. I had a medical background. And I just thought, maybe it's time now just to become a teacher and to teach others what I had done when I was birthing my daughter, Alana. So I did my training when she was only 3 months old. And I think through my passion towards hypnobirthing, all of a sudden I got myself into a position of where I was chair of UK hypnobirthing. I really don't know how I managed to do it, apart from just my passion about it all. And, I was responsible for putting conference days together for all of the hypnobirthing teachers around the country and celebrating everything that we do. And, I even started World Hypnobirthing Day as well, as a way to reach so many more people and to promote, hypnobirthing and the amazing skills and techniques that accompany what hypnobirthing stands for and what it is.
So I can feel the passion. This is the thing. Like, whenever I speak with you about what you're doing, it's just pure passion. So you can tell it comes from the heart. Yeah.
Absolutely. And something that I'm really focused on today is training other teachers to teach this education, and women that want to set up their own businesses, and midwives that teach antenatal classes in NHS trusts as well. So I teach lots of midwives as well as women wanting a new career. And a lot of the women that cross my path tend to be mums that have gone through the program, come out the other end, and just like me, so passionate about sharing the knowledge with other pregnant couples. Tends to be the sort of woman I get that comes to my training.
You're passing this knowledge on, not just to the people that you can reach, but also training other people to do the training. So this is I would say, more of a movement. At what point did you decide that you were going to make that transition to training the trainer?
So I taught hypnobirthing. I was a hypnobirthing teacher for about 8 years. Then I was chair of UK hypnobirthing. And some stuff was happening in the world of hypnobirthing that didn't quite sit right with me. So I followed my own path. I felt like a door opened at the time, and I was in a position of influence, having arranged conference days and so forth for all of the UK hypnobirthing teachers. And I thought, you know what? It's time to make a new hypnobirthing program. It's time to give it a facelift, the facelift that it needs, modernize it, and make it very specific to the UK market. And that's what really felt was the next path that was going to be laid out for me. So that's what I did. And I created a program called the Wise Hippo Birthing program. And I launched that, in May the 1st, it will be 7 years old when I launched the Wise Hippo Birthing program. And thousands of couples and thousands of teachers have trained to teach this program, and I'm so proud of it. And it's a program, an educational program, antenatal education program that just changes lives and changes births for couples to just to remove that pregnancy anxiety and the fear that quite often surrounds childbirth, and changing the mindset of parents as they move towards their special day of birthing their babies.
Yeah, definitely. So focus on the mindset being a really important focus, and not just the practicalities. Thinking of this message, and because something that I love that you do, and you do it throughout the book as well, is you always very consciously make sure that what you're saying is said for the person receiving the information. Like, you write for your readers, you speak for your audience, you always do that. And I can see that it's a natural calling to teach and to share and coach.
Yeah.
At what point then in your professional journey did you start to look at what you were doing from the perspective of a brand as well, and start to actually build it up as a brand, not just a message?
I think over the many years of teaching hypnobirthing, I think the name hypnobirthing makes it sound like something that it's not. Having a brand was a way to really reach a lot more people in a really serious way, because hypnobirthing's never really had any branding before, or any serious branding. And it's a serious subject. Even if the word hypnobirthing makes it sound something that's quite, I don't know, maybe airy fairy or hippie or something. But I think the branding was really, really important, because it was a way just to get the message out in a way that would attract pregnant couples more. Because majority of pregnant couples that we currently attract, I would say, would be professional couples that value education, couples that are interested in reading books so that they can find a way to birth their babies in the best possible way. So I think a lot of the branding was very much catered for professional couples in the past. But I think with the book, The Birth Path, I think I've been really mindful to ensure that it's attractive to everybody.
Yeah,
I hope it has come across as quite a nurturing way, because I wanted to be for everyone. And I've really used my voice to connect with the everyday woman in this book. That was what was important to me with the creation of this book.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and I think you do that very well, and your other business communications as well that I've seen, and you make sure that no matter what is a public facing in terms of your brand, that you always make sure that you connect with the individuals behind it.
Yeah, you probably noticed as well that even the colouring on the front cover of the book is in keeping with the Wise Hippo colours, the purple and the green as well. So it was really important to keep that in my book.
Yeah, that's true. It is, isn't it? And it's very consistent, and that lends to. Would you say that kind of reflects on the experience you want women and couples to have as your clients and your trainers' clients as well? That kind of feeling of there being a reliability and a consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the trainers, the teachers that I teach, also use the brand. So I thoroughly encourage that they use the brand, and they love the brand. They love the hippos, and so do the pregnant couples. They love the hippos as well. You know, hippos pop up everywhere, and it's amazing once you do the program and you become a teacher, and you just start to see hippos everywhere. It's almost like you're attracted to hippos. You know, the teachers and the couples are always posting on the Facebook groups. Oh, I found another hippo, and look at the T-shirt with the hippo that I found, and they're all, you know, even making baby grows with hippos on them, and you know, it's become a real recognized brand, which is fantastic.
Well, this is it, because actually, like you said, you've branded what is a very serious topic as a way to get that serious message out, but you've done it in a way that it's humorous. And
we are not saying to pregnant women that they look like hippos in any sort of way.
Disclaimer.
Exactly. We're the hippos. As the teacher, we're the hippos.
Fantastic. And so, and this is the other thing, you've created something that, like you say, things people can make, you know, baby grows. I mean, that's essentially merchandise.
Yeah.
And so at what point then, thinking back over your business journey and your branding journey to date, did you consciously decide to start building up this brand? In fact, what are some of the ways that you managed to do it? Because you've got a really impressive platform.
Thank you. To be honest, I didn't consciously go out to do it. I just trusted, and everything has just fallen into my lap at the right time, in the right place, the right people to support, and it's just happened, and it just really makes me feel that it was totally meant to be. I know that sounds all spiritual, but it's just the way it is. And you know, I'm not one to plan ahead. I've never planned ahead. I live each day as it comes, and I just trust that the right people will step into my path to help me along the way, including yourself with the book. But to be honest, that's what's happened. I love the title of the book as well, The Birth Path, because you know, it is a path. It is a journey that I've been on for, you know, at least, well, Alana, my daughter, is 13 now, so I've been on this journey now for 13 years, and it's definitely been a path. And you know, I've called it the birth path because it's something that I've always said as well. I've never said that babies come down the birth canal like most people do. For me, the word canal conjures up all sorts of images. For me, babies come down the birth path, which is, you know, it's a lot positive, more softer use of language when we describe it that way.
Yes, it is, definitely. I mean, that is one of many, you know, amazing pieces of wisdom that are shared throughout the book. It covers really so much. I would say you've really shared the best of what you know, outside of like literally guiding couples through a birth in the book, which, you know, you wouldn't necessarily want to be doing. But it really is a fantastic book, and you've given everything that you can give in that format. And
thank you. I mean, I've attended so many births as a birth doula as well, and I think with my knowledge and my experience from what I've gained from, you know, being out there on the front line, seeing all from births to cesarean births. I've been with women in all different sorts of birthing capacities, and I think a lot of what I've written in the book comes from that first-hand experience, and the feedback as well that I've received from my couples as well. You know, when they say that they had the right birth on the day afterwards.
Okay, fantastic. And so what are some of the ways, obviously you've written this book and the book is due out. And by the way, for those of you listening who would like to pick up a copy of that book, then I recommend heading over to the Wise Hippo website and signing up on that form so that you can get the information as it comes out. Those of you listening to this podcast tomorrow, what's the website again?
So it's www.thewisehippo.com.
Perfect. So that's where you can find out the latest on the book, and that'll be coming out very, very soon. So make sure you hop over there today. From what you've learned on your journey, what are some of these like you say, when it comes to personal branding, you've never thought of it as branding as in a strict business process way. You've thought of it in terms of like an authentic approach to, as a way of kind of further caring for the people that you're serving. You've now taken the time to put all this, into a book. What are some of the other ways that you have found have been useful to make more people aware of you and your message?
I think it's the community spirit that we really focus on at the Wise Hippo. So the community that we've created with all the teachers is so supportive, in that if anybody's struggling in their life in any sort of way, then they know that they can go to what we call the pod. So the pod is on Facebook, a secure group where they can just get any support that they want. And also for the pregnant couples as well, if they require further support along the way, then they can go to the Wise Hippo Hub, which is their support group on Facebook. So I would say definitely it's the community, the supportive community that we've created, and it's just full of the most incredible wise women that just know so much about life, and not only hypnobirthing, but they know so much about lots of different therapies, to reflexology, to mindset coaches, to there's so much. Even one of my last trainings, I trained a woman who used to be an oil trader. So if you want to know about oil trading, join the Wise Hippo community. Who knew, right? Who knew?
And so that's brilliant. So you bring everyone together and you make sure that everybody can talk and keep in touch and learn more about each other. You just always put the focus on others, on the people that you're helping.
Thank you.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. And as we say, you can head over to www.thewisehippo.com.
Perfect.
Right, and there is an opt-in box on that page as well, where you can get the latest on the book, which is due out really nice and soon. And where else can get in touch with you, Tamara, if they want to?
They could always email me if anyone wants to speak to me directly, and that's Tamara@thewisehippo.com.
That is perfect.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tamara. Take care.
Take care. Bye.